Hello, good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear. We can hear you.
All right. First and foremost, I would love to apologize for the technical glitch that we've experienced. We take responsibility for that and we are very sorry. Apologies. We know that this is going far and it's just one of those unfortunate incidents. All right, we'll be starting shortly. But I would just like to tell you to share the links with your colleagues, your classmates, this new link, and let them know that we'll be starting in a moment. All right. Good evening, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to welcome you to the finale of our Imagine Alliance Leaders Conference 2026. The Emerging Leaders Conference 2026 themed from potential to power, building the next generation of energy leaders. We've had day one and day two, and today is the finale. On day one, our team was leading without losing your grades, a student's guide to balance a student's guide to balance. And on the first day, we had Cassandra Dewan and our very own YP chair, Mr. Loki Ememe. They taught us to take initiative, to stay accountable, and build true technical depth. We were also reminded to work smart, not just hard, as consistency is the key to growth. On day two, just yesterday, we had two speakers, Miss Mba and our very own global scholar, Dr. Chukwu Emeke. Ms. Imba taught us the importance of active participation, even as a follower, and the benefit of volunteering. Dr. Chukwu Emeka blazed the whole room. He emphasized the importance of discipline and self-mastery. He even gave us the cure to something he called analysis paralysis, right? For those that missed day one and day two, I would want to say that you missed. Well, you actually missed if you missed day one and day two. But because SP Section 104 deeply cares, deeply cares about you, you can always go back and watch our sections on our YouTube page. Our handle is at SP Section 104 Worry. And today, the day three, the finale, our theme for today is overcoming leadership hurdles, lessons from a real energy leader. Today, we have a very distinguished speaker, a seasoned leader that would even give us more clarity and direction. All right, but before we proceed or do anything, please, I would like to make a few recognitions and thanking them for joining us today, noting that it could be anywhere in the world, but they chose to join us here today. And for that, we are truly grateful. I would like to start by recognizing our speaker for today. He joined in so early and he has even tried to help us solve our technical glitch. Our leader for today, our distinguished speaker, Engineer Emeka Ene, who doubles as my MD. Please welcome him. Please celebrate him. Thank you very much, sir, for joining in, and you are very welcome. I would also like to make welcome the 001 of SP Nigerian Council, in the person of Engineer Francis Wachi. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to recognize all section chapter president here present. I can see Favor Odogu, the SP president of PTI. I can also see the president of FUPRI. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, so moving on to set the tune for today, I would like to make welcome a very a YP from the section, the person of Miss Macaulay, to help us with the safety moments. Miss Macaulay, if you're on the call, please just give us the safety moments. Thank you very much. All right. If she's not on the call, I would like to call on Mr. Paul Alabi to help us with the safety moments. Paul, please, if you can hear me, go ahead. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Juliana. I was about stepping in before you called. Yes, my colleague had some challenges, so I'll be doing this in her stead. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes. Once again, I would like to sincerely apologize for starting this late. We didn't even we didn't start this late. We just had some technical issues, and like Juliana said, we take responsibility for that and would do better next time. So to quickly run us through our safety moment, we'll going through the usual ground rules. The thing about safety is most times what we spell out as safety or the rules we bring out on safety, they seem to be usual things, they seem to be mundane things, but when you need it the most, I hope you will not be found wanting, right? When you should have adhered to safety and you did not do that because you feel it's a normal thing. So we don't pray for casualties to happen, we don't pray for wrong things to happen, but it's always good and important to pay attention to safety tips and safety rules in whatever place we are. So for a few ground rules for our virtual call, please kindly mute your mic when you're not speaking. Yes, kindly mute your mic when you're not speaking. You may say it may not be maybe totally, it may not, it's not necessarily maybe a safety rule, but never can tell. There's some discussions you wouldn't want people to hear while when you're on a call, and when you're not muted and you're speaking to people and other people from other places who you don't want to let into your some conversation you'll be having outside of the call would have it, and it wouldn't be so good. So it's good. Please be mindful of your mics when you're not speaking. Ensure you're muted, or when you're not saying anything relevant to the discussion, ensure you're muted. Raise up your hand when you want to speak. For orderliness sake, use the chat buttons for typing your comments or your questions. Ensure you can still hear the fire alarm with your headset. Yes, for those of us that like to be locked in whenever we're in sessions like this, ensure you tune down your volume to a considerable level whereby you can still be aware of your environment even though you are locked into the session. Then be alert and aware of your environment and fit into that in the last ground rule, where whatever be the case, ensure you're still alert, be situationally aware, know whatever it is that's going on within your environment in as much as you are locked into the session. Always stay safe. Like I said, safety tips are very simple. They may consider mundane, they may consider casual, but it's very good to adhere to them. Then lastly, kindly maintain a good sitting posture. We're aspiring energy leaders and also current energy leaders. We want to ensure that we stay healthy so that we keep bringing up innovations, we keep bringing up ideas in that to ensure we have the sustainable energy future that we are clamoring for. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of the session. Over to you, Juliana.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul Alabi, for that safety moment. Okay. Before we move on, I would like to recognize the presence of some very important dignitaries that has joined us here today. I would like to recognize Mrs. Bosse Aya, the Super Squad Manager of Oida Energy. Please celebrate her. I would also like to recognize my team lead from KGG. Thank you for joining us today. The person of Mr. Philemon Wani. Thank you very much for joining us today. All right, moving on to a very important segment of this program. To set the tune of today, I know that I can only try to give an opening remark, but to set the tune officially for today, I would like to welcome someone who is a global leader and a transformational leader as well, who has a degree from Imperial College, the 001 of SP in Nigeria, the person of Engineer Francis Woche, to help us with the keynote address. Sir, please, if you're on the call, kindly unmute and go ahead. All right. In his absence, I would like to call on Mr. Callistus Inaboya, one of the section leaders, to help us with the keynote address. Please kindly unmute and go ahead if you can hear me.
All right. Hello, Juliana, and hello, everyone who have made out time to be on this call. In joint apology, I would like to apologize to everyone for the technical glitches. So once again, this is Imagine Leaders Alliance, and we've been spanning from day 1 to day 2. Now we're at day 3, and this is you already know we have like a good line of speakers for you from our very own CEO of Oida Energy and Oida Group. So like I say, we have a lot in store from vast experiences. I haven't heard Juliana say that he has been in the industry for over 30 years. That is like 3 decades. So, and it's going to be more, it's going to increase. So we like say we have good hands on deck, and also everything has been packed for all our lessons, for all of us to learn and basically further grow our mindsets, our abilities, and all that. So this is just going to be a quick one, and sending on all existing protocols, I would like to hand over to Juliana back. Thank you so much, and you're all welcome again.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Callistus, for the warm welcome.
Hello, Juliana. Council Chair is on the call.
Okay. All right. Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, yeah. So delighted to have you here on the call. Please, would like to specially welcome you. It's an honor for me to invite you on the virtual stage to help us with our keynote address. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate, and it's a huge honor really to be in this program. And I really want to thank Section 104 Wari, the YP, and the section chair. Thank you so much, Dr. Aditana. I really appreciate the invitation. And Lucky, thank you for hounding me. If not, I probably wouldn't be here. I really appreciate. So I hope that you'll be able to take something very key from what I'll say this evening. So good evening, everyone, distinguished guests, respected colleagues, and most importantly, our future leaders. Say good evening to everyone. It's an honor really to join the YP, the Young Professionals, Vibrant, and the students of SP Wari section for this important conversation. You know that I'm quite passionate about the younger folks, and it's something that, so I'm really pleased with what you're doing, especially the fact that you titled it Emerging Leaders Alliance 2026. That's the entire program. So let me begin by commending you for creating a platform that does not just talk about leadership, but seeks to build it intentionally. Today we're discussing from potential to power. One thing we all know is that there's potential everywhere, really, depending on how you look at it. But power, true leadership power is very rare. The difference between the two is intentional action guided by values. That means there must be intention and there must be values, core values. So to be clear, we all know it very well that leadership is not just a title, but it's character in action. then an industry like ours, energy, oil and gas, and the evolving energy transition, the world is not just looking for competent professionals. It is looking for trustworthy leaders. And you'll see that that's where I'll focus on a lot. So today, I'm not just going to give you theory, but I'll leave you with 5 practicable, actionable things that you can start doing immediately to build true leadership grounded in integrity, honesty, and truth. The first one is practice integrity when no one is watching. I know you've heard it a lot, but it's so true. Leadership begins in private before it is seen in public. Leadership begins in private before it is seen publicly. Integrity is not tested when things are easy. It's tested when you can cut corners, when you can manipulate results, and when you can take credit that is not yours. That's when integrity is tested. You see a lot of people, especially in Nigeria, you hear a lot of people say, oh, see how people are just so corrupt, this and that. But I've seen so many people transit from a position of no power to having power in government and doing exactly the same, because that is when integrity is tested. If I use the church way, we say when you have small money and you cannot give tithe, how can you do that when you start making millions or billions? It's the same way. But though people say the other way around, when I start making millions, I'll do it. So integrity is tested when things are not easy. What are the actionable steps that you can take about that? You start to hold yourself accountable daily. Every day, as a young person, as a YP, and as a student, begin to hold yourself accountable. Whenever you do something, look back and say, did I deliver what I promised? Am I willing to admit when I'm wrong? Am I willing to refuse to compromise my values for short-term gain? And then, if you cannot trust yourself, no one else will trust you. No one else. So you have to be ready to be able to stand on that place, on that pedestal of integrity. I've seen it a lot of times, and I've seen that it's something that it's a core value that it's priceless. And people will search the world for leaders that have integrity. The second thing is to commit to continuous learning and competence. Commit to continuous learning and competence. You cannot lead where you lack understanding. I won't mention the name, but I felt one of our presidents, one of our past presidents, he was very intentional and very passionate about changing Nigeria. I know if I give you this hint, you may know him. He tried to change the telecoms industry, and he did. I believe that the reason why he couldn't change everything he wanted to change is because there wasn't the capacity to change things. So you cannot lead where you lack understanding. The energy industry is evolving rapidly. There's technology, sustainability, digitalization. Leaders have to be students first. You must learn. And it's a continuous process. You must continually learn. So what are those actionable steps you can take? Start to read something technical or leadership related every week. It can be JPT, Journal of Petroleum Technology. It could be the Wall Street Journal. You know, read something technical, be oil and gas. One of the things I always do is that I try to look for articles on the oil and gas, like for instance, what's happening right now in the oil industry globally. I read about it. Okay, why is this having impact on this? Why is this having an impact on the other thing? You must begin to look at all of those things. You must develop yourself, continually learn every single time. So ask questions. Ask questions, even when you feel unsure. I'm glad this worry section, many of you were at PTI for the students conference, you'd see some students come out and ask questions. Sometimes questions may not be intelligent, but it's a good step towards leadership when you begin to ask questions. Even when you feel unsure, it makes sure you find out that you can never really go back and unlearn, or you can never unlearn that thing because you've asked the question and you've learned from it. Seek for mentors. Seek mentors within platforms like SP. It's very important. And I'm saying this because a lot of people locally here like to seek mentors so they can get a job. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about get mentors that will teach you, that will increase your capacity, increase your knowledge. For instance, there are people I mentored, all I did was sponsor them to NICE, and their lives changed, their minds changed. So the mentors are different. Make sure that mentors on platforms like SP. Remember, competence earns respect, but character is what sustains it. So you can do, there are many people that I tell people in this Nigeria, one of the things I'm sure you know, you have many professors, many doctors, many knowledgeable people, many industry leaders. They do not have character. So they are very intelligent, they are quite competent, but they don't have character. I can mention sometimes you see the ones in INEC and such like. They are professors, they are doctors, but their characters are questionable. The third thing is to take responsibility before you are given authority. Take responsibility before you're given authority. Many people wait to be appointed before they act, but leaders act before they are asked. So before they ask you, find out, what am I to do? How can I do these things? I tell people, there's a way I try to coin this in that for young professionals and for students, two major things that are key to being someone that is mature. You must be accountable, you must be responsible. What do I mean by that? I use a very simple example always with a young man and a young lady that somehow in school, university, the lady became pregnant. When the young man says, I take accountability for that pregnancy, and I'm going to be responsible for it, you know that person is mature. Leaders act that way, and that is a leader. So leadership is not being in charge. It is taking charge of responsibility. What are those actionable steps? Volunteer for projects, solve problems without being told. I remember in Kano when we went for the students program, students conference last year, right there in the middle of the hall we're using was the clock for the school. In the engineering faculty, clock is not working. I said, can you imagine coming to the engineering faculty and a clock is faulty? Where people are studying electrical, mechanical, civil, this and that. Why wouldn't the clock work? You don't have to wait for them to tell you. Leadership takes charge. You solve problems without being told. Be the person that people rely on in your group work. A lot of times in our companies and in our students' programs, you find they form groups. And instead of you to say, okay, I want to handle this part of the project, I want to take charge, you want to be happy just staying at the background and just following along. That is not a leadership trait. So if you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead others. There's a way we used to say it in other places that if you cannot, first of all, lead your family, that's how it used to be in the past, you cannot lead others. So they wouldn't appoint you for a government office if you cannot lead your family, because it was a criteria that if you can't lead a small group, you can't lead more people or a bigger group. The fourth thing is to speak the truth, and speak the truth with courage and respect. One of the rarest leadership traits today is the courage to tell the truth. People want to be politically correct. People want to be kind. People want to be nice. But those that know me know that I can be quite blunt. I will tell you the truth as it is. Maybe I'll give you a personal story. one of my siblings, he didn't do very well in school, secondary school, made like 6 P's, 2 F's. And they said, my family had a family meeting and said they want to send him abroad. I said, you cannot send this guy abroad. I told them the truth. Everybody tried to be nice. No, maybe it can change. And I told them I will not contribute a kobo to his education. They sent the person abroad. He failed the first year, failed the second year, and they stopped paying for his fees. About 5 years down the line, they come and say, Francis, you said the truth. I said the truth because I knew that this was not the right thing to do. It takes courage, and you have to say the respect, because my parents were there. That was many, many years ago. Right now, of course, he's much better. He has changed and everything. In professional environments, you will face pressure. Face pressure to stay silent. You'll face pressure to agree with what is wrong. You'll face pressure to compromise standards. You will see it every day in Nigeria. There's always pressure. And the only way to know you have character and you're a leader is when you stand on your core values. I tell people that I have some core values. Once you come to those core values, they are immovable. The other things you can tell me, I can be flexible. But once you come to my core values, I will share them with you today, maybe another day. I will not budge from those core values. I will not. So what are those actionable steps? Always base your opinions on facts. I would like to say it in SP community that in SP, with all our knowledge, with all our technical data, with all our information, we cannot go outside and speak like a beer parlor person. For instance, when they're asking you about what's happening with the oil industry, the gas industry, and everything, I don't expect you going around and say these refineries, they're just scattered anyhow. They're not working. No. You speak like a technical person. The refineries, they have long lead items. Before you can get the parts, it takes 5 years, 3 years to make them. They make them out of cast iron. They are very expensive. There are only few companies that can do it. Our refineries are about 50 years old. The spare parts are not available. You speak with facts and data. Don't speak like a beer parlor person. It's a sign of a leader. Speak up respectfully when something is wrong. In Nigeria, they talk about it that people know that they don't allow people to speak up. That's not true. I don't believe that. It's about speaking up respectfully. Say the right thing. Say it. Use facts, use data, and make your case properly. People will listen to you. Also, build a reputation for honesty, not convenience. Build a reputation for honesty. I've seen that even before I get to a place, people begin to talk about certain values of mine. And they say, let's stay away from this. It's a reputation. That's what they call your brand. Build a reputation. Truth builds trust. It does. It might not move you forward in many cases, but it builds trust. People know you. In my office, I can tell you that a couple of times they said, oh, there are issues of corruption, there are issues of this. Let's bring Francis as a member of the panel to come and look at it. Why are they bringing me into it? Because they trust that probably I will do the right thing. Trust is the currency of leadership. As you use money to pay for a good or a product, trust is that money for leadership. The fifth one is serve others. Leadership is about service. I talked to one student at the Olebri lecture. He came to meet me, he said he's looking for a place for internship, that how would they look at it? If he's the student's chapter president, he's the university student's SPE president or chairperson for the university. And the student was saying that how would they look at him? I said, you do not have any special privileges because you are the student president. When you begin to do that, you stop being a leader. One of the things that I learned from university was that I was unable to attend SP activities because a group of students cornered it. The leaders cornered it. And that is not service. When you take all the field trips for yourself, you take all the benefits for yourself, you are not a leader. So you as a leader, it's about service. At its core, leadership is not about you. It's about the impact you make. The greatest leaders are those who ask, who am I helping to grow? So what are those actionable steps? Help a colleague, help a student to understand what you know. That's what leaders do. Support your peers instead of competing destructively. Stop looking for a way to bring down another one, but help build another one. You find as you build, it becomes bigger. That's what SP does. SP builds everybody, makes information available, and that's how people grow. Contribute to professional communities like SPE. When you focus on service, influence will flow naturally. Influence will flow. People will know you. So let me leave you with this. The future of the energy industry will not be shaped only by technology. It's going to be shaped by people of character. We know it. We talk about AI and how AI will shape the future. And people are afraid of AI because they say it will destroy the world, it will do this. What they are really saying is that the people in charge will not have character. So the future is really shaped by people of character. The future of the energy industry is going to be shaped by people of character. And that's why I believe we're having this program to ensure that that leaders are shaped and formed this weekend. So these are people that will choose integrity over convenience. They will choose truth over silence. They will choose service over themselves. And that's how potential is transformed into power. Potential to power. And that's how you become not just professionals, but you become trusted leaders. So thank you. And I look forward to the incredible impact each of you will make, and have a great event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Council Chair. Please, let's keep it up. Let's give him a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much for reiterating what that truly matters. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
You know, one thing that truly stood out for me, you kept reiterating most of the things that our speakers from day one and day two said. You know, our day two speaker, Dr. Chukwuemeke, he said something yesterday. He said, what that differentiates you from another person is not your beauty, is not your height, but is your knowledge. And you even added to it today, telling us that there is no end to learning, right? And
Yes.
you gave us a challenge. You even concluded, you gave us a challenge today that we should learn a task we should learn something every week. And yesterday, he even gave us a 30-day challenge, right? So if you're on this call, this is a sign for you to start. If you were thinking, should I start? Like the analysis paralysis that he told us. If you were double thinking, this is your sign to start. Thank you very much, sir. It came so timely. Thank you for your warm encouragement. Thank you for your words. We are truly and deeply grateful to you for joining us here today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate, and I'm glad to be here. So I'll take a bow.
Okay. All right. You're welcome, sir. All right. Before we go ahead, I would like for you to drop on the chat box. Tell us one thing that you really learned from this lecture. Could it be from today, from our council chair? Tell us one key point so that those that maybe mixed day one or day two, they could also learn. Tell us one key fact that you learned. Okay. But in the meantime, I would also like to make some few recognitions. Our section chair is here with us today, the person of Dr. Oluwaseun Adetona. Sir, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us here today. I would also like to recognize our YP chair, the person of Mr. Lucky Ememe. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us here today. Our speaker is already on the call, a learned, seasoned leader. I would like to call him a seasoned leader. I call him the godfather of leaders, the mentor of mentors, right? And we will be having, he will be speaking to us in a moment, all right? But before then, would like to take his bio. And to help us to take his bio, I would like to call on Callistus to help us read his bio. Callistus, please, if you're on the call, please kindly unmute and go ahead. Thank you very much.
Hello again, and thank you so much, Juliana. Sorry about that. So, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to our council chair for that insightful keynote address. So, I can't honor existing protocols. I will be the one to invite our speaker for today. So, Emeka CNF is the CEO of Oida Group, which includes the Oida Energy Limited and Zenergy Limited, Sinoil and Enugu Industrial Park Free Zone, Empower FTZ. He is the immediate past chairman, EMP Committee of the International Gas Union for the 2022-2025 triennium, the vice chairman, EMP Committee of the International Gas Union for the 2019 and 2022 triennium, a past director of the board of the World Free Zones Organization, a member of the Institute of Directors, Nigeria, and serves on the boards of the other companies in the oil and gas industry. Emeka has also served in various
Callistus, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Your voice is a bit low. All right. Apologies. Your voice is a bit...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's
All
clear.
right. Apologies for that. All right. So I go on. Emeka has also served in various capacities on a voluntary basis locally. He is the immediate past chairman of the board of trustees for the Society of Petroleum Engineers SB Nigerian Council, a past chairman of the Society of Petroleum Engineers Nigerian Council, a past chairman of the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria, PETAN, past chairman of SPE Port Harcourt, Section 103, and was a member of the Presidential Task Force on Refineries Reform in Nigeria. Wow. As part of contribution of the body of technical knowledge and best practices in the energy industry, he has published several technical papers and made presentations in the areas of trade, entrepreneurship, local content, rigorous well intervention, reservoir monitoring, well conformance technology, and natural gas processing. Wow. The paper on implementation of methane gathering and abatement project leveraging carbon financing won him and his team the WGC 2025 Regional Gas Award. Wow, 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 wow. Please, let's get virtual round of applause, please. By the International Gas Union, Emeka pioneered the launch of the Mind Africa Foundation, a non-profit initiative working with rural children ages age 10 to 15. Mind is involved in developing leadership and lifelong learning, computer-based education, and hands-on skills. So it's my pleasure and my honor to invite you, Mr. Emeka Siene, CEO of Oida Group. You're welcome, sir. The virtual podium is yours.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah, thanks for having me, SV Section 103. I'm going to share my screen. I'd like to ask kindly if you have a pen and paper or writing pad or phone, laptop, just be ready because this is going to be somewhat interactive. I'd like to leave something behind so that you can go back and look at it. Is that a deal? I expect everybody to be part of this conversation? I want to hear you. Okay, great. Excellent. Excellent. So just confirm that you can hear and you can see my screen.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So the first test here, just write down your answers. We'll deal with it at the end of the presentation. There are 125 sheep in this flock and 5 dogs as well. How old is the shepherd? So do the calculations, write down your answers. We'll deal with it at the end. Is that a deal? Everybody, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay. The next exercise is there are 6 keys that you can see here. Choose a key that resonates with you. Just note down the number beside the key. Don't think too much. Just look at the keys and pick one key that clicks with you. Is that a deal? 3, 2, 1. I'm moving on. So, yeah, this can be a response which you can interpret to be fear, anger, concern, terror, and it's quite understandable. Because if you look at the world today, we're dealing with Trump 2.0. We have elections next year. We have a war in Iran. We have Ukraine ongoing. Oil price has hit 100. It's coming down. It's going up. Inflation is high. Systemic corruption, dollar naira, insecurity, social political upheavals, and so on and so on and so forth. So it's bound to generate some kind of response. I mean, if it's not generating a response in you, then maybe you're not really truly connected to what's going on around us. So innovation, when we talk about this, a crisis or wars, a virus that we had in COVID-19 are real game changers. Yeah, so there are always 3 options to move forward. The context of before, now, and after. Now, before is over. Before is before. So you don't have any way to go back and change it. That is understood. So whatever has happened, it has happened. You can't go back and change it. After has 2 options. Do nothing, all right? Or innovate to adapt to the uncertainty. And then now means you start innovating urgently. So I want to set that setting, that foundation, to understand that from every crisis, opportunity can be found. In whatever situation, opportunity can be found. There are 3 geopolitical trends that we have to deal with and contend with. One is state interventionism, which we have seen in the Middle East, for example. Trade is under pressure. There's a lot of fragmentation, tariffs, all those things. And of course, resources and technology security are now very critical. This is important because you may say, oh, I'm just an engineer somewhere, or I'm just working somewhere. What has all of this got to do with me? And we're just going to come and bring it all together. These are things that are influencing our world today. And of course, in terms of the global oil and gas industry, people have talked about decarbonization and sustainability. Well, with what's going on, everybody's going back again to fossil fuels. But one thing we can't ignore is digital transformation. AI, robotics is now not just a dream or a talk. And of course, the energy transition and portfolio diversification are things that people are now dealing with real time. So today I'm going to be talking about exceptional leadership without a title. What are the attributes that will set you apart? And I'm glad that it's coming on day 3. We've had the opportunity to listen to various contributions by all the different leaders that you brought to the table. The presentation by Council Chair was quite on point. We're going to dive a little bit deeper. We're going to bring it home in a way that you're going to get certain principles and concepts that you can take into your life journey and things you can start to work with from Monday morning. And these three attributes, we can see that from the exceptional journey of King David in his own leadership journey, in his own time. There are three things. And I like and I love acronyms. So these are acronyms you can remember. So this acronym is HIT, H-I-T, hit it hard. Have a cause to believe in. The H, instruct or train to embrace that cause. And of course, T is to target and measure your own and your team's success to deliver on the cause. Have a cause to believe in, instruct or train to embrace the cause, and then target and measure your own and your team's success to deliver on the cause. So the case study one is the Apple, and it's very important. You know, Apple, they had an advert many years ago. You may recognize this guy, Steve Jobs. His advert then with just two words: think different, think different. And Steve Jobs was recorded to have said, to me, ideas are worth nothing unless executed. They are just a multiplier. Execution is worth millions. We must be able to deliver. You must do what you set your hands to do. Otherwise, it just stays within the realm of imagination. So he envisioned a picture of a future and the impact of personal computing. He inspired his team first to believe, even after many spectacular failures. He was actually thrown out of Apple at some point. So as a leader, and I address you as such, every single person listening to me should think of his or herself as a leader. Your course.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
okay.
hear you, Juliana, but it looks as the thing has frozen.
Okay, apologies. So we just moments. Okay, we just speak up for a moment, or he will be joining us shortly. All right. While we wait, please, if you are not speaking, please kindly mute your mic. Thank you very much. All right. While we wait for our speaker, my MD, to join us, I would like to take some comments from the chat box. Right? Okay, and this is from Mona John from the key takeaways. She says, he said his key point is, you cannot lead when you lack understanding. All right, he's back. Hello, sir, can you hear me? You're muted. You're muted, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Welcome
I guess
back.
we have to live with these things from times. It's that's what makes life so interesting in this part of the world that we live in. You know, once in a while, the network comes in and just decides to give you a knock, and then you walk around it. So, so let's take it. Let's take the blow on our chin, like strong folks. So let me try and share again. Don't mind, and hopefully we'll keep this going. Now I'll switch to a different network. Okay. So can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
I was saying, Aliko Dankote says, listen, people need to eat, I'll give them tomatoes. People need to live under a house, I'll give them cement. People need to put salt in their food, I'll give them salt. They also need to put sugar, I'll give them sugar. They need to drive from one place to another, I give them fuel. So he has a course. It's a consistent pattern, and he's been successful at it. I'm just using that as a kind of out-of-the-box example. Okay, now, so the first lesson is have a cause, give you and your team something to believe in and a cause to pursue. So as a leader, you need to give yourself first and your team something to believe in, to be part of, by defining the cause to pursue. Your vision needs to go beyond the present circumstances or even your lifetime. whatever it is, in whatever situation you find yourself in, no matter what you're doing, you must have something that goes beyond the present circumstances and beyond your lifetime. So the first key is seed. We started a company driven by the vision of, say, rigless walkover, fast track oil, well intervention. But we're driven by a can-do spirit without the resources, without the connection in a hostile environment, but driven purely by that vision, completely outside the comfort zone. So you must have seed and be ready to plant it. So I'll give you a quick exercise. This is the second exercise, I think. Third exercise. The first one was the goats. The second one was the key. This is the third one, and I want you to basically write, because we're going to come back to you. So read the following 4 sentences and write down whether you agree or disagree. You are a certain kind of person, and there is not much that can be done to really change that. Do you agree or disagree? Just write that down. Second one, number 2. No matter what kind of person you are, you can always change substantially. Write down, do you agree or disagree? Number 3, you can do things differently, but the most important parts of who you are can't really be changed. Do you agree or disagree? And number 4, you can always change basic things about the kind of person you are. Do you agree or disagree? Has everybody answered? Juliana, I'll just take you as a point because I can hear you.
Yes, sir. I have answered.
Good. Excellent. So we're moving on now. So we're going to talk about fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. If you agreed with items 1, 2, and 3, you have a fixed mindset. 1 and 3, yeah? If you agreed with 2 and 4, you have a growth mindset. If you agreed with both 1 and 2, you are confused. So a fixed mindset relies more on natural ability, tends to avoid challenges, yeah? And a growth mindset believes that abilities are like muscles that can be built up with practice. You accept more challenges despite the risk of failure. Typo, please excuse, yeah? So if you want to reach your full potential, you need to have a growth mindset. That's it. And a growth mindset complements praise efforts rather than natural skill. Okay, so can I ask somebody picked who are the growth mindsets folks in the room? Or let me ask it differently. Juliana?
Yes, I picked number 2 and number 4. I agree.
Okay, great. So I would like people to post in the chat box, right? What was their choice? What their choices? Fixed and growth, fixed or growth. Now, so can people with a fixed mindset learn to adopt a growth mindset? The answer is yes. So there's nothing wrong. So to create and sustain change, team members, individuals, you need to embrace a growth mindset. So real change often is 3 steps forward and 2 steps backwards. If failure is a necessary part of change, then how we understand failure is critical. So there's failure, learning, insight in the middle of change. So a growth mindset perceives falling down as learning, not failing. Pain now, pay off later. So the key is, as long as you have an attitude or a bias for learning, you can develop a growth mindset. There's no second or third choice to it. Okay, we'll go to our second case study. Amal Hassan, I don't know if you know this lady. She's a leading technopreneur with diverse interests across technology verticals up and down the value chain. In 2003, she started the first ICT training institute in Kano to train mostly women. But by 2013, she had founded Outsource Global, right? Both in Abuja and in Kano. They employ more than 1,000 people, more than 1,000 people, basically in call centers connected to the international value chain. So in fact, Outsource Global is the first internationally compliant commercial call center in West Africa, serving both the UK and US markets. But she started in a small classroom teaching mostly women about computers and co in 2003. So the second lesson is instruct or train yourself and the team to believe in the cause. So success in any endeavor is not by accident. Success is not by accident. You know, we have little control over what you or your organization will face or the situations it may encounter. All the things we described earlier, you get a feeling it's out of your control. The exchange rate, what can I do about the exchange rate? You know, what can I do about the war in the Middle East? Therefore, as a leader, you should train or learn or guide yourself, your team, not just to perform the job, but you need to train or to believe in what you are doing and to engage to answer the reason or the question, why are we doing it? It's not just doing the job, but why are we doing it? Is there a cause? Can we understand the why we are doing it? Why it is an essential part of doing it. When you volunteer in the SPE, do you volunteer just because you think it's an avenue to get a job? Or do you understand the why, the fact that you're building leadership skills, the fact that you're working long hours to set up this meeting, for example, the fact that you sometimes expend your own personal resources and your time particularly, right? If you learn to understand the whys behind it, behind the cause, then you're already set on the path of exceptional leadership. So the second key is sow. The first one was seed. Now we need to sow. Conditions were far from perfect when we started our company. There was an oil industry recession. It was purely 100% an international oil service company playfield. There was no access to finance for every rational reason. But we trained ourselves and the team to believe in the cause and to have a bias for action. If you have seed in your hand, unless you plant it, it will not grow. So plant your time, plant your resources in volunteering, in doing the things that you need to do that will progress and provide an answer for the why. The third case study is Strive Basiyiwa. He's a billionaire. He's the founder of the Econet Wireless, the pioneer licensee of in Nigeria. He's often been cited for his integrity-driven leadership. Famously refused to pay a bribe for the telecoms license in Zimbabwe, fought a 5-year legal battle, but ultimately built a reputable Pan-African corporation. Now, this quote from him said, "Integrity is better capital than money. You can accumulate it just like money, and you can use it just like money, but it goes even further and it's enduring." This is so profound because in our mind-littered environment, usually people operate by the ends justifies the means. It doesn't really matter what I do or how I do it. What's important is that I end up doing it. How I do it doesn't matter. But integrity is better capital than money. So the third lesson is target and measure to put the success of yourself or the organization ahead of your own. So to be a leader and be part of a true leadership team, you need to put the success and the needs of the organization or team that you work with or are involved in ahead of your own. If it's SPE, put the SPE interest ahead of your own. There is a measurable value in what is called a family name or even your faith. What do you stand for? How do you measure progress? What are your values? What will you be remembered for? You don't have to be an old person to be able to ask yourselves those questions. So the third key is sustain. As a company, we faced cutthroat competition, undermine, I don't want to even go into those details, a lot of compromise or attempts to compromise position, conspiracy both internal and external. But ultimately, sustainability and resilience, the shan't agree attitude are assured through enduring values, through innovation, and having a vision beyond the horizon. In other words, a vision beyond the circumstances that you may face. This is so key because so many of us start and stop and don't really hit successful at what we do. And what we do now is what we're doing now. Be successful at what you're doing now. The grass always looks greener on the other side. Yeah. If you want to build resilience, you want to build sustainability, enduring values, innovation, and vision beyond the horizon are ultimately key. So, what key did you choose? Okay, can we post in the chat box? Yeah, okay. Just post excellent. Now, what I can see is that you can see different things. Now, I'm going to surprise everybody now. Okay, now watch out for the answers, okay? Watch out for the answers. So, if you picked one, you are rational, a logical thinker, highly analytical, determined, and strong-minded. You're a practical person and you look for utility more than the fancy, and you look for utility more than the fancy things in life. However, there's a vulnerable and fragile side of your personality, which is revealed from time to time. Okay. If you picked number 2, you are a strong and charismatic individual, innovative and full of creative energy. You express your opinions frankly. You usually get what you wish for. You are a free spirit, and your biggest strength is being independent. You refuse to feel trapped by promises. If you pick 3, you are a resolute person and always coming up with interesting ideas. You are unique and stand out from the crowd. You are bold and never scared of voicing your opinions. You're always up to new challenges and journeys. You have a steady control of your life. Number 4, you are a pleasant, sunny, positively minded, and easygoing person. You're always looking at brighter side of things. Be wary of people trying to take advantage of your optimistic spirit. 5, you are creative, have a vivid imagination. You're a dreamer with originality and a unique personality. And of course, number 6, you're a rational person with sound judgment and good sense. You have amazing concentration. Now, some of it may be true, some of it may not be true, may not fit a personality. After you just picked a key, hello. I mean, that doesn't end up being able to tell too much about yourself. But what is important is that we pick different keys. We didn't all pick number 1, or we didn't all pick number 6. So as individuals, we are unique with different choices and leadership styles. But as a team, we become formidable. So always try and recognize that you can create a team, you can create a virtual team, even if you are talking solo about yourself, connect to a community, sharing similar ideas. If you are within the SP, commit to that community to share ideas. If you are online in LinkedIn, find the communities in there. As a team, you become more formidable, cross-cultural learning, sharing knowledge and skills, impacting knowledge, giving service. All of these things are important. But as individuals, we are unique with different choices and different leadership styles. Okay, so ask yourself, am I not just a good leader, but am I an exceptional leader? And so we're going to go into now the third final exercise for this discussion. I was told I have 45 minutes. I'm trying to push it down to 30 minutes, but I hope we're all keeping tabs here. So a leader's goal is to move a team or move an issue or solve a problem from point A to point B, from a current state to a desired state. We all agree. So it could be your professional career, moving from point A to point B. It could be your organization's impact. It could be your organization's size. It could be your organization's record. But, remember one thing. Just remember one thing. The best leaders know the answers to 3 fundamental questions at all times. 3 questions at all times. And over the next couple of slides, I'm going to ask you each question. I want you to jot down your best answer within 30 seconds. Are we all ready? Juliana, are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let's go. The first one. Question number 1. Why are you here? Why are we here? And here is being metaphorical. I'm not talking about this meeting. I'm talking about why you are here, either in your company or why you are here what's all about you? Why is it important? What's the purpose of why you're here? How does it make you better? How does it make the team better? How does it make your customers better? How does it make the world better? What's the purpose for why you are here? Just write it down. Go to the next one. Where are you going? Where are we going? What does the future look like? How do you or are you going to get there? Can you break it down into 3 steps? A 3-year, a 5-year, a 10-year? Just answer very quickly. Okay, we go to the next one. How are you doing? How are we doing? How are you progressing towards the desired state? Can you measure progress? What are the goals? What are the outcomes? What are the targets? What's your 12-month goal? What's your 3-month goal? What's your 1-month goal? Okay, so how was the test? Most leaders and leadership teams, they fail the test. Why? Because it's fuzzy to you. Yeah? Imagine how your team feels. It's fuzzy to you. Are you able to answer that bam, bam, bam? Or are you still thinking about question number 1? We're now on question number 3. All right, so we're going to complete the following exercise together. But since we're not... Sorry? Say that again.
Apologies. Please, can you mute if you're not speaking?
No
Thank
problem.
you.
We had a very young and excited pre-YP contributor. That's okay. Okay, so we're going to use the North Star template to fill out the answers, yeah? Purpose is a combination of your mission and your values. That's your purpose. That answers the first one. Direction, which is a combination of your vision and your strategy. That was the second question, your direction. And progress is made through your goals and your targets. So you have to anchor all 3. It's not just enough to set up some goals, but what is your purpose? What's your mission? What are your values? What's your direction? Your mission, your vision rather, and your strategy in how to get there. And progress is made when you have goals and your targets. This is the North Star thing. So I want you to scribble. That's why I said if you have paper. Basically, you can scribble it on paper or on your computer, whatever. What's your mission? What's your 100-year mission? I know from where we are today, I don't think anybody expects to live another 100 years. But let's say, what's your 100-year mission? What impact do you think it's going to be? Just put that in 1 word or 1 sentence, right? And then what's where you are today in that 100-year journey, assuming you had 100 years. Then can you put down your values? In 1 word, single words. What's my value? 1, 2, 3. Boom, as many as you can put. Yeah. And then in 20 years, what's it going to be? In 10 years, in 5 years, in 3 years. Then you have to ask yourself why. Why is goal number 1 a priority? Why is goal number 1 a priority? Am I still here? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Sorry, I got interrupted by phone call. Yeah. So why is goal 1 a priority? So when you put your goals, your personal goals 1, 2, and 3, why is it a priority? Excuse me. Oh, why is 2 a priority and why is 3 a priority? And what kind of outcomes are we expecting to see? You see, this allows you to get alignments, not just your personal goals, but you can do the same thing for your team, for your organization, right? Because you see yourself as a leader, and a leader is not by position. I think Council Chair said it quite appropriately. You don't have to wait for authority before you take responsibility. And I think that was a great comment. Yeah. So I'm going to move on because I want to stay within the limit of what I set for myself. So we can do, I understand, a Q&A of some sort. So I would encourage you to do this for yourself, to create alignment, not just for yourself, but also for your team. So you can do it for your company that you work for, or even for XP Section 103. Just do it. What's the mission? Where do we want to take this to? What are the values we want to continue to propagate from generation to generation? What are our goals? What's the goal for Section 103, 104 in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years? Where are we going to? Why is this goal a priority? The goals that we set, why is it a priority? So these are things that you can do in different directions and different dimensions. So the HIT key is have a cause to believe in, instruct and train to embrace the cause, and target the team's success to deliver on that cause. Do we remember this? So can we all, are we all ready to answer these questions? I'd like you to post your answers. Huh? Okay, great answers. Okay, so okay, all right. So great. So I have answers from 121 to 25 to even 1 year old and then cannot be determined. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So before we even go further, I'm going to give you another one. Yesterday, 33 boats sailed into the port and 54 boats left the port. Yesterday at noon, there were 40 boats in the port. How many boats were yesterday evening still in the port? Can we put our answers now, please? Can you calculate? Did you all hear me? Juliana?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so let's see what okay, I have 40 votes as an answer. More answers, please. Okay, I have 19. I have 11. I have 40. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I have 19. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, and this will just be to bring all of this together. You see, in pursuit of our purpose, our mission, whatever it is that we put our hands to do, we need to recognize that if we're really going to make any significant progress or achievement, it's going to lie outside our comfort zone. In other words, if you already know how to do it, there's nothing to pursue. So usually it's outside your comfort zone, and that comfort zone is many times uncharted territory. We tend to rely on familiar tools, and that in itself restricts us in truly achieving exceptional leadership. That's the reason why we had these two exercises, because from a technical point of view, there isn't an answer. I noticed 1 or 2 people put in there. It cannot be determined. So it's undetermined. However, in solving life's problems, we must make room for, number one, intuition. The idea, your gut feeling. You start somewhere. You make some assumptions in the absence of information, and you begin to iterate towards the answer, number one. Number two, we must be ready to challenge the status quo. So mathematically, we threw you in numbers. And what happens is that 99% of the time, we tend to gravitate to trying to solve a problem, a real world problem, using the numbers and things that we have, or the resources we have in our hand. Oh, I only have these resources. I can't do this. Oh, I need to raise $100 million to do this. but I don't have the money to do it. So capital is my problem. You know, oh, I want to be able to achieve this, but I don't have what it takes to do it. So we limit ourselves, yet we dream. Our ideas are beyond our current capacity. So we need to make room for the power of intuition or gut feeling that's driving us from the inside. We need to be able to challenge the status quo, what people think is true. Whether it's 33 volts, 54, it doesn't really matter. The truth of the matter is that you can't bring the two together. So you have to make some valid assumptions and iterate to the answer. But what is most important is that your values, your core values, right? What you have inside of you, the strength, the beauty, the knowledge, the experience, and plays out in many ways that you may not realize because it's not scripted. On that note, I'll share this proverb. The best time to find a black goat is during the day, because at night, you will not see it. So when we shout yay in the challenges, in front of the challenges and the difficulties that we see, we should be shouting yay from the point of view of opportunity. And it should be a smile and not a cry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, let's give him a virtual round of applause. Please, let's give Engineer Emeka Ena a virtual round of applause. Thank you for sharing with us a slice from the wealth of your knowledge. We are deeply honored that you shared this with us. Thank you so much. Your last quote that you just said, the best time to find a black goat is during the day, just reminded me of something my mom usually says during Igbo, but let me just explain it in English. It's a proverb that you don't go to a new house in the night, because you would always lose your destination. Thank you very much, sir. All right. I know that most of us might have questions for him. Please, you can kindly indicate by raising up your hand or dropping it in the chat box. All right. Thank you very much. All right. But before we continue, I would also like to recognize some persons here on the call that has joined us here today. I'd like to recognize the Chief Operating Officer of Zenergy, a subsidiary of Oida Energy Group, Engineer Debo Fabami. Thank you very much for joining us here, sir. You are welcome. I would also like to make welcome one of our section directors, Professor Juliet. Thank you very much, Ma, for joining us. Okay. All right. While we are dropping our questions, just a moment so I could share my screen. A moment while I share my screen with us. Mr. Paul Alabi, please can you make me a co-host with my second line? All right, thank you very much. The comments are buzzing in. Thank you very much, sir. All right, sir, please, I would like to ask you a question while we're waiting for other questions to come in. When you're a leader, right, and you have some followers, but they are not highly motivated, what are the steps? What are the ways that you can motivate them to believe in the goal of the team?
It's a very good question, and it's something that challenges leaders all across. It's even more interesting when you are a member of a team and there's a leader who is not motivated, and you are wondering, how am I going to be able to get the team motivated when my own leader is not even motivated? You see, there's no practical, no better way, or let me put it this way, leadership if it's modeled in you. And that is why, if you look at those very simple three, the HITS thing, have a cause to believe in. If you understand, if the team understands the why, we have to do this. It's a whole lot easier. I'll give you an example. Once back in the day when I was in school, I was traveling by public transport from Lagos, and we got to Onitsha, and the car was trying to navigate through Potopoto, serious Potopoto. I mean, like reaching the side of the car. Halfway through, the car stalled, and so we all sat down there for a while. It was raining. After 5-10 minutes of abusing the driver for taking us that way, guess what happened? We all rolled up our fine clothes, removed our slippers, entered the Potopoto to push the car out. And that is what happens, essentially. And many times when there is a cause, when we have no option, when you now know that we need to get this vehicle out, then everybody rallies around that cause to be able to get it done. So it's very important that to motivate your team, you as a leader and the rest of the team, you model leadership first. But what is most important is you need to identify why we are doing it. And as long as you can get enough people to model why you're doing it, people will come along. Recognize that it's a bell curve also. Within the team, you have those who are early movers. Nothing wrong with them. You have those who now move along the crowd, and there are always those who are very pessimistic and all of that. Eventually, they're dragged along. So again, know how to create that momentum. Yeah. I have a question from William. What motivated you as a leader to make the first step in starting All Data as a Vision, knowing that our country will not make things easy? That's a very interesting question, because at the time, some of my friends, my personal friends, thought actually one had gone, kind of crazy, mad, because at the time I worked internationally, in the Middle East, in North Africa, in Southern Europe. My wife was also an engineer also. Between the two of us, we probably earned a significant amount of money, I mean, in whatever currency. And then we decided at that time to leave and then come to start our company in Nigeria. So it sounded very, very crazy. There was really no apparent motivation. If you look at it, it was not for want of a job or a better job, what reasons that people move. But it was driven by a vision, a mission, one that we can do. We're as good as any. And that's what we're driven by: faith, a belief that there's a direction and a purpose to everything that we do, and that we are uniquely created on this planet to make a difference. And so we took the plunge. It's like jumping out of a plane without a parachute. So what keeps you going is the fact that you have a vision that we can do and we can get things done, and we're as good as any on this planet. Nothing is impossible for those who believe. So that's the answer to that question. There's never really one answer. I have a question from Callistus. Says, being a leader, what strategy best worked for you as to people management while driving the vision? It's very interesting that you asked that. It's very, very key, because one thing is, I give you an anecdote. We had to submit maybe some documents or catch up a meeting. That was the days when there was Okada around town, and so I jumped on an Okada to make my meeting in Shell. And at that time we wore official white shirts with the company logo, big white company logo on the back of my shirt, Oil Data. And here
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, Juliana, you can be heard.
All right. Apologies again. I'm sure network just doing its thing. All right. While we wait for our very distinguished and seasoned leader to join us, let me take a moment to recognize the presence of our YP co-lead, Engineer Nelson. Thank you for joining us here today. I would also like to recognize my line manager, Engineer Anthony Arum. Thank you so much for joining us here. And least I forget, I would like to recognize this the car squad manager. He's here. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. And Mrs. Docker, she has been so active on the chat box. Please celebrate her, celebrate her. Most of the OIDA squad, the OIDA Energy Group, they are here. Thank you so much for joining in. We are very grateful to have you all on the call. All right, he's back.
Again, I'll switch to another network, which is great.
Sorry, sir.
That's okay. Maybe we have a timer. These network folks give us a timer. You know, when you are too much, they say, "Okay, chill. Allow somebody else to to participate." I apologize on behalf of the networks, but anyway. So basically, talking about strategy from Callistus, the truth of the matter is that it's not really a strategy. You model exactly what you do. So all our folks know that all our folks are associates. They're called associates. You will not see my name, my designation on my business card, and we have it on most of our business cards. So you just have my name. You don't have chairman, managing director, blah, blah, blah. Anybody can change the course of the company. Anybody can walk in the door and say, look, I think we should do something different. And we've demonstrated that over time. And so we build a very strong family culture that looks at the problem and solving the problem on behalf of our clients. And that has been the key. I have a question from Ifeyuma, talking about inconsistency plus an immense lack of discipline, and has a vision of where you want to be. How do I combat this issue while still dealing with life issues realistically? I think it's very simple. Really, first you need to articulate your vision. It's very important. What do you want to achieve? I want to change the world. I want to put this. I want to do that. I want to put a computer. I want to feed everybody, my village, my whatever. Create an onlyness statement. An onlyness statement is a statement that says that you, whatever you want to do is the only particular thing that you're doing in Nigeria or in the world or in Africa. If you can't define that in Port Harcourt or in Warri on your street in your bedroom, then break it down, break it down, break it down. So people talk about raising the bar. You know, I want you to lower the bar of your expectations. So in other words, you need to celebrate every baby step, every step of the way. Set a timer. Every day you're going to spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes in this particular activity. Do nothing but that. Write down everything you do. Yeah. And every day, 5 minutes, you do that. Every day, the next day, 5 minutes, baby steps. Celebrate those milestones. Make noise about it. Connect to a community. And you see and watch these things grow. If it's a business, make sure you separate yourself from the business. Put your money into a separate account and don't touch it, and you'll be successful at what you do. Yeah. So inconsistency, discipline, all these things are just some manifestations of fear, procrastination, all of that. Yeah. Whatever it is you want to do, if you want to become an expert nuclear scientist or quantum physicist, it's 10 years or 10,000 hours. Start by contributing 5 minutes of your time today. That's 5 minutes less 10,000 hours to be an expert, and you keep at it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We know that our distinguished speaker, Engineer Emeka Ene, has a lot in store for us. But for the sake of time, we would just like to call it a wrap for today. But here is the good news. You can still reach out to him. He's on LinkedIn, right? Or better still, you should come to Oida Energy. All right. I would like to call on make welcome our section chair, the person of Dr. Adetuna Oluwashel, to help us present the certificate to our very esteemed speaker for today. Sir, please, if you're on the call, kindly unmute and help us with the presentation, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I think first, it's an honor for Section 104 to have our highly reputable Oga Ene on the call with us. For the YPs, you don't know the kind of privilege you've had today. Whatever kind of perception or concept of training he has given you today, it's an honor. So on behalf of Section 1 of us, sir, our former BOT chair, thank you for honoring the call, being on the call with us today. We say a big thank you, sir. And on behalf of Section 104 and its board member, I would like to present this certificate for coming to mentor and also teaching us the pathway to a very positive perspective of quality leadership in profession and life generally. Thank you, sir. So on behalf of our YP and the young professional, the board members, our section directors, and our BOT members available on the call, even with council chair, that is, he created time to give us the keynote words today. We say a big thank you. So please, sir, accept our little gift to you. We owe you a lot for this honor you have given Section 104. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Anytime. We're all part of
Thank
SP. Thank you. I'm quite honored.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, MB. Thank you, our BOT chair. On the call today, I'm sure it's not only me that I've noticed. I can notice that we have a good lineup of leaders, from managers, founders, the founder of Lecture Hub is here, SP chapter presidents. But today I told you that we will be having the godfather of leaders, the mentor of mentors, and a very exceptional leader. And he came and he delivered. For that, we are so grateful. Thank you very much, sir. But before you all go, we'd love to see your beautiful and handsome faces. We'd love to take a snapshot. And to help us with that, I would love to invite the chapter chair of PTI, the person of Odogu Favor, to help us anchor the photography session. Odogu Favor, if you're on the call, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Juliana. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, the section chair, the council chair, and our speaker. So I'm Odogu Favor, and I'll be handling the photography session for this wonderful lecture. So to move on with this photography session, I want us to turn on our cameras. You can turn on your cameras by clicking on the start video button underneath your screen. So please, let's turn on our cameras, please. I can see 2, 3 people. Okay. I can see some cameras turned on. So at the count of SP, I'm just going to take a quick snapshot. So SP.
Solution, people, energy.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Odogu Favor.
So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Odogu Favor. All right, moving forward. I would love to appreciate each and every one of you. I would love to call you my 41 precious participants for staying up till this moment on this call. Thank you very much. We don't take you for granted. Apologies for the technical glitches we had in the beginning. We know that you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us and also chose to be here with us up till this time. Thank you very much for staying up till this moment. All right. And moving on, would like to take the closing remark. And the closing remark will be done by the special project lead, the person of Wesley Samuel. He has been the one organizing the whole program from the start, the 3-day conference from the start to this moment. Samuel, please, if you're on the call, any last words for us?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
So I want to sincerely thank everyone who made it out to the call today, and and throughout the series, both our speakers, our leaders, and our distinguished guests. I also sincerely apologize for the glitches we faced earlier. And I also know that we've gone through a series of trainings that if we truly imbibe by them, it will change the course to change the landscape of energy and leadership in our country. So we hope that we imbibe by all the things we've learned, and I hope to see you all soon in all our programs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining in. Thank you. I wish you all a good night rest. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you. All right. Bye.